Afraid of no ghosts.
What's going on, guys?
Hi, guys.
So we have a large box this time for our Ecto 1 build, and I'm excited because our interiors come together, and the size of this box, it is massive. I'm assuming this is going to be interior parts. It could be more of the stuff that we already did, like the inside control panels, or it could be something completely different. But I'm excited to get into this box, and this is going to be parts packs 51, 52, 53, and 54. And
we're getting a lot done.
We are halfway, I think it's halfway done with the build. Again, slowly building it up, getting there, but it just takes time. And yeah, so let's get into this box and see what we have as far as parts. There we go. All right, we have our sheet here. No special items in this box. Last box we had a hat. You got your hat?
Yeah.
And then
we got a shirt.
We have a shirt, license plate. So no special items in this box. Let's see, a bunch of packing paper, which is good because it kind of takes care of, you know, what's in here. And right off the bat, we have, looks like floorboard, or like the flooring for the, this is like the rear, I'm assuming it's the rear floor where like the gurney goes that holds the proton packs and everything. So that's 52. What else we got? Here's our book. This is 51, so that'll be the first parts pack. And it looks like a bunch of cables, like maybe zip ties. And looks like some interior pieces, some miscellaneous interior pieces. And then more interior pieces for 53. I'm assuming that's kind of some kind of like electronic stuff because there's like a little graph on there. And then we also have this piece. Yeah. So this is going to be all interior pieces. It's going to be all the, I would say like the components for the inside of the back compartment. If that's it.
Ow.
I poke you in the face?
Yeah, you poked me in the nose.
All right. And then we'll set all this off to the side. And we'll get into issue 15 of the Ecto 1. My nose itches. There must have been dust on that box. All right, so going through the parts, 51, it's going to be the driver's side rear workstation, kind of like what we did on the other side. The rear floor, equipment. Yeah, it's just going to be a bunch of little components for the inside, basically. And let's get into the behind the scenes information. Here we go. Small World. And that's basically the miniature set that they had with the cars, and kind of do the forced perspective on stuff. You can see how they had the cars set up, and then of course they had like one of them they had Marshmallow Man, the Stay Puft, and then the other one they had the Statue of Liberty. Kind of walk through the town.
That was very cool.
It was. And yeah, here's an example of that. They had the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man walk through the miniature set, kind of crushing cars as he went. And the amount of detail they put into the sets is just crazy. Even though it's not a full-scale set, it's just, you know, lots of detail. Stuff that you really wouldn't think of, like they had remote control cars. You can see he's controlling one of the remote control cars, which is really cool. And then we also have the Theater Ghost, which I do not remember, but there's a Theater Ghost. I don't know if it's one that came out of like the movie.
Looks like a
theater.
spider.
It does kind of look like a spider, huh? It has like 4 arms. It's kind of cool. Really cool looking.
6 eyes.
It's kind of a cool ghost. And then Vigo concept art, which is kind of cool. Different concepts they had of it. That kind of reminds me of like Conan the Barbarian look, especially with the sword. And then on this side you have kind of a
Statue of Liberty.
like a prince look on there, like a king.
Looks like a statue.
And then yeah,
of
like
Liberty.
the Statue of Liberty, Vigo. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool how they, you know, they could have easily gone with different directions on the way Vigo looked.
Proton
And then the
packs.
proton packs, like the build and stuff. And I didn't realize that there's a whole community out there that they replicate the proton packs. Like it's a big thing. And, you know, they go through great detail to try to replicate the proton packs from the movie, which is cool. It'd be something cool to have on display. I know Hasbro, they released the hand wand, which is this right here, something like this, for Afterlife movie. And then they also announced that they're doing, through crowdfunding, they're doing a full-on proton pack that has a lot of detail. Some of it takes apart. There's hoses to hook up together. And, you know, really cool stuff. I don't know if it'd be worth the money to put on display because, you know, that's a lot of money to put into it. I want to say it was like $400 for the proton pack. And then it's another 100 something for the wand. And for it just to go on display, I understand if you're like a cosplayer and you're going out to conventions and stuff like that, wearing the full-on suit and everything, it'd be kind of cool to have. I can't justify that with, you know, a display that I'm not gonna ever use. This is a little different because it's something that we're building and we're gonna put on display. And, you know, proton pack, I'm not gonna be wearing a proton pack around the house, you know, that's something I'm not gonna do. But it's kind of cool though. I didn't realize there was a whole community for that. And that is it for the behind the scenes information. So let's get into the first parts pack, and that's going to be parts pack 51. And we'll get it opened and get it started right now. All right, guys, so stage 51, parts pack 51. We are going to be fitting parts to the workstation, which is what we worked on the last build. We have our seat here, our workstation, so now we're going to be adding upon that. And it looks like we first need to build this piece. That's going to be held down by 2 BP screws. And then there is this longer piece right here that is going to be held down by, it looks like 8 BP screws on here. And then this whole unit is going to be held onto the actual workstation by another set of 2 BP screws. So all BP screws, very easy. Get all this hooked up and show you the end result. All right, guys, just like that, we are done. We have the 2 pieces mounted. This piece mounted to this small piece, and then the top is done. So now we can move on to the next part of this. It's going to be fixing the flex tube. So we do have a bunch of different flex tubes here, so you want to make sure you're grabbing the right ones. Of course, in the instructions, it's going to explain which ones are which, and you're routing those across. Looks like they're mounting into nothing, and then there's actual zip ties here to zip tie everything down to where it looks nice and neat. We'll get this going and show you the end result. All right, guys, so we have all of the hoses hooked up and zip tied according to what it says. Now, one thing I did find is these hoses, they're supposed to go back here, and there's nowhere for the zip ties to hold on to. So what I'm probably gonna do, so this looks really nice and neat, is put a small drop of hot glue, just like that, to kind of hold that down, to where it's down smooth and it's not really sticking up like it is. I'll probably end up doing that after the fact. For now, it's fine. Let's see what we got. So now that we are all done with that, stage 51 of our book is done. And we can move on to parts pack 52. And 52 is going to be the large panel. So we're going to be attaching this workstation to the actual floor itself. And it is held down, looks like 2 DP screws. And then down here, our other panel that has the front seat, that's going to be attached to the long floorboard as well. And it looks like it's going to be alternating screws. So looks like 2 LP screws and the rest are going to be NP screws holding down the front piece that we've already done and this new back piece. And that is going to be your finished product right there. So first, I'm going to hot glue that, and then we'll get this going and show you the end result. All right, real quick, what we did was we put some hot glue down here at the bottom on both sides, and it holds down these coils really nice. And you're not going to see it because this is all going to be behind the actual car, so it's going to be up against the wall. You're not going to see any of the zip ties or the glue. And then these hang down and plug into something else. So this is done. So now we will get on to the other parts. All right, guys, there we go. We have... All right, guys, there we go. We have the front and the back attached. We have our workstation here attached to the base plate, and then flipping it over, screws down the side or down the back, and then 2 right here. Looking good. That is it for parts pack 52. So now we can move on to parts pack 53 right here. Simulation switchboard, control panel, and oscilloscope. And then it looks like right here we're going to be working with these pieces. It's going to be held down by 2 EP screws holding that panel to that. Looks like a total of 4 brackets here held down by KP screws. And then once all that's done, we are going to see. So once all that's done, we'll show you what it looks like right now. All right, guys, there we go. We have our bracket on. We have everything attached that's supposed to be attached. And now we can move on to building out the rest of it. So we have this piece right here. These 2 little brackets, they're all held on by a total of 4 GP screws, 1 in each. And right here, there's this little panel, 2 EP screws, 2 handles that just clip in, and then this side piece that just clips right in as well. And then to top it all off, we have our top piece, 4 IP screws, and that should be it. And we'll show you guys what it looks like. All right, guys, just like that, that is all done. 4 screws, looks good. So now, since that parts kit is done, we can move on to parts kit 54, which is the last parts kit. And it's going to be guidance system. Right down here, so we have, looks like we're building another box. It's going to be building the guidance system. You have this box. These simply slide in, and then you have this top panel held down by 4 AP screws. Little knobs that go in here, and they simply just slip right in. and we'll get that going and show you what it looks like. All right, so that is all done. We have our box build here with all of our switches installed. Now we can move on, and we are going to be fitting the guidance system to control panel box. So the bottom of this, I believe, it's going to be held on, and then everything's going to be kind of put together. Looks like that's going to be held on by AP screws up top. This panel right here is going to be 2 IP screws, and then there's side brackets, and it's going to be KP screws on both sides, and that's going to be, it looks like, 4 in each bracket. So we'll get that done and show you the end results. All right, guys, there we go. We have all of it put together, looking fancy. Lots of screws, lots of brackets, but everything is done. So now we can move on to the next part, and that's going to be fitting the parts onto the cargo area floor. And that's where those tubes are going to go through, and they're going to plug in down at the bottom. And then it's going to go right here, and it's held on by 2 IP screws, and that is going to be it. Very simple, shouldn't take too long. Just like that. All right, guys, there we go. We have everything mounted, put on all the hoses. Everything looks great. Put this around, get a better point of view. There we go. So far the interior is looking great, and that means we are done with this parts pack, and issue 15 is in the binder. All done, issue 15. All right, guys, there we go. Another issue in the binder, and mentioning the binder, we are almost completely full so far. This is going to be one of 2 last issues that we're going to put in this binder. We also have the other binder that's empty, so we'll put this one in, and then our next issue will go in here, and that will complete this binder. So yeah, this build so far, it's turning out great. These parts, those little small pieces, you know, a lot of screws, a lot of brackets, but it turned out great. This is what we got so far. Obviously our internals.
I like the seats.
The computerization stuff up here, the hoses, lots of detail. The jump seat folds up and down here. Then you have your computer system. I like the detail. I love all the hoses and stuff. These hoses kind of are a pain to get where they need to be. I ended up using a little bit of super glue to kind of hold them down. And then obviously on the back, I used hot glue to kind of hold all of the hoses together and down to where it's not all over the place. What do you think of the interior so far?
I like it.
You like it, right? It's really cool. Again, there's a lot of interior parts that we got to build up.
Yeah.
And then once we get all the interior parts built, I believe soon we're going to be mounting it to the actual car, which I want to say maybe is the next video or the next box. We start mounting it to the car, because then we also have the steering wheel and everything, the dash we have to put on. But obviously starting to get the interior done. There's a lot of little components on the inside, but that's it. I hope you guys liked this video. Please like, subscribe, comment down below, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Bye.